The red centre of Australia is a very ancient land. A very ancient land swept by wind and rain, extremes of heat and cold, scorched by the searing sun, parched by endless drought, watched over by the moon and the great Southern Cross. This is an ever-changing land. Time and tide does not stand still. This land will move with the time, forever drifting, reshaping to create another form. Some 100 million years ago, this land was a great inland sea, covered by the waters of time, where giant marine reptiles ruled, while megafauna and dinosaurs roamed its shores. This is an ever-changing land, a soft and gentle land, a land of heart and soul, of spirit and ancient wonder. Some 40,000 years ago, our ancient forebears called this land their home. They walked this land. They lived. They gathered from the land. Their footprint is here forever. The sea had gone. So too the marine reptiles, the megafauna, to remain a distant memory from the past. Replaced now by the kangaroo, the dingo and the emu. This ancient land was once the floor of the inland sea. The beauty of nature in its formation is greater than any artist could ever capture on canvas, yet we stand in awe and wonder.
This canyon could be transported to any civilised land. Its glens, its ferns, its gorges, flowers and plants would charm the eyes and hearts of the trail-worn men who are condemned to live and die in crowded cities.
These are the words of Ernest Giles when he came across what we now know as Kings Canyon in 1872. Our ancient forebears lived here, and still do, for many thousands of years, and the area contains many sacred and spiritual sites. The giant monoliths of Uluru and Kata Tjuta stand like stark sentinels on the landscape of this ancient land. They have risen above the waters to stand the test of time in this ever-changing land. Our ancient forebears have been the custodians of these iconic formations for millennia and hold them in great sacred and spiritual value with ancient story of their dream time. We are encouraged to respect these sites with regard to the spiritual values of our ancestors. These monoliths are believed to have been formed around 600 million years ago. With the tide of time and the harshness of the elements and climate, they have been eroded to what we see today. In 1872, explorer Ernest Giles, in his travels, came across Kata Tjuta and gave it the European name of Mount Olga. In 1873, explorer William Goss, in his travels, came across Uluru and gave it the European name of Ayers Rock. This is a harsh land, but there are still survivors in nature, animals, plants and birds, that have lived here for eternity. They have learnt to adapt to these trying conditions, some on the very existence of the land, others on the very existence of their prey. Each species has its own special beauty, a determination to survive. The greater MacDonnell ranges weave their way. Weave their way like a giant caterpillar across the open landscape for some 600 kilometres through what was once part of the inland sea. These formations are thought to be some 1,000 million years in the making. Due to the ageing of time and weather, they were much higher than what we see today. They formed part of the inland sea at a time when the rainfall was much higher. With the passing of time, gorges, chasms and channels were carved through the softer layers of terrain. The landscape is a vast palette of colour, with soft pastels of yellow, cream, orange and reds, to gold and amber, deep purples and burgundy, that glow vibrant with the changing hues of the sun. It is like a poetry in colour. John McDowell Stuart gave the name to the MacDonnell Ranges after his scientific expedition into the region in 1860. The Larapinta Trail winds its way through these spectacular ranges and gorges for some 223 kilometres from Alice Springs to Mount Sonder on the western end of the range. The walk can be divided into 12 separate sections, while some walkers choose to tackle it as one. It is a very challenging walk, and in its entirety is only for the experienced trekker. It is known for its extreme climatic conditions of heat and cold, but the rewards are exhilarating.